Today, our learning intention is that students will be able to identify the different types of coins used with money and solve word problems involving quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies. So, in order to know you're successful within this lesson, you will be able to identify the different coins and their value and then solve word problems using these coins. So we're going to start right off the bat with this. Which is greater? So as you all become more proficient in ordering, counting on, working with money, you're going to be able to mentally determine an amount of money in a handful of coins. So if we're looking at this problem thinking A is a handful of coins and B is a different handful of coins, we need to think which of these two handfuls, which of these piles of coins is greater. So we know that money is measurable and the value of coins can be quantified using cent amounts. I'm going to go through this a little bit more with us as we progress through this PowerPoint. Which of these values is worth what? So let's break it up. Here's how I like to break up problems when I'm working with money. I looked at them as two separate slices. In pocket A, or handful A of coins, I like to count out what types of coins I have present. Over here in A, I can see I have no quarters, no nickels, but I do have 1 penny and 6 dimes. I took note of that right here. Over here in pocket B, I have 1 quarter, no dimes, 3 nickels, and no pennies. So now that I've figured out what types of coins I have, I'm going to be able to use their value and quantify these problems as cent amounts. So here's part A. We saw we had no quarters, that's 0 cents in quarters, but we had 6 dimes. So if I add up 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10, and I have 6 dimes valued at 10 cents each, I have 60 cents total. Also, for those of us who have begun multiplication at the Hands-On Center with Miss Abbott, this is like doing 6 times 10. Each dime is worth 10, so it's like a group of 10 for each dime, and I have 6 groups. Next, we have nickels. There's no nickels in this picture, so I have 0 cents in nickels. Following this, we have pennies. So you can tell I have 1 penny. We know a penny is worth 1 cent. So in this picture, we have 60 cents in dimes plus 1 cent in pennies, which is 61 cents. Here, in our other pocket, remember this is the same pocket as before, the other side, B, we have 1 quarter, so 25 cents, no dimes, so 0 cents, 3 nickels, which is the same as 5 plus 5 plus 5, or 15 cents, and 0 pennies. So altogether, in this picture, we have 25 cents worth of quarters plus 15 cents of nickels, so 40 cents. So back to our original question that we were trying to answer in the beginning, which is the greatest? As you can see, I put a star around pocket A. That is because pocket A was 61 cents. Oops, wrote 60 here, but I meant 61. 61 cents. And over here we had 40 cents. So 61 is greater than 40. So here we're going to, again, which is the greatest? A has 2 quarters, so 25 plus 25. B has 1 quarter and 3 dimes, so 25 cents for the quarter, plus 10 cents, plus 10 cents, plus another 10 cents is 55 cents. We all know, as second graders, that 55 cents is greater than 50 cents. So 55 cents B is more than 50 cents A. Now, let's look at this type of problem. It says, I want to buy gum that costs 55 cents. I have 2 quarters and 10 pennies. Do I have enough money? So, we know the goal here is that they want to buy gum that costs 55 cents. Let's think about this in terms of math. If we have 2 quarters and we have 10 pennies, how much is that really? As you can see, Miss Abbott laid out our problem here. Quarters. 2 quarters is 25 cents plus 25 cents, giving us 50 cents. If I were to add up 10 pennies, I know each penny is worth 1 cent, giving me 10 cents total. Then I would do 10 cents plus 50 cents is equal to 60 cents. So, does this girl have enough money? Yes, she does, because she has 60 cents, and that is greater than 55 cents. Now, the next thing I want us to think about as mathematicians is how much change would be left over. So, sometimes you go to pay for something and you have more than enough money. So, if I were to go buy gum that costs 55 cents, but I have 60 cents in my pocket, I would have 5 cents left over at the end because 60 minus 55 is 5. Take the skills we just learned and let's practice them on some word problems of our own. We're going to run through a couple practice problems here, and I would love it if you guys could pause your video as we start the problems, try to work through them on your own using either a plain piece of paper, or if you have an expo and whiteboard, or any other way you can write, just to make sure we're practicing this thinking. So our first word problem here says, Justin has 2 quarters, 2 dimes, and 1 nickel. How much money does Justin have? So similar to the way we just solved our last problem, I'm going to flash back for a second to remind us, we want to lay out how much money each of the coins that Justin now has is worth. So we know Justin has 2 quarters, 2 dimes, and 1 nickel. So 2 quarters, 2 dimes, 1 nickel. How much would that be worth? I want you to pause and think about it. So, hopefully, as we tried to write this out, you were able to see that quarters are worth 25 cents. So, if we had 2 quarters, we would have 25 cents plus 25 cents equaling 50 cents. With dimes, if we had 2 dimes, that'd be 10 cents plus 10 cents equals 20 cents. Now, for nickels, if we had 5 cents in nickels, that's just 1 nickel. Now, we need to figure out how much all of these coins are worth together. So what I decided to do was write 50 cents in quarters plus 5 cents in nickels plus 20 cents in dimes. That, I was easy to then find out, was 75 cents. Just like before, I would like you guys to pause your video, try to solve this word problem on your own before we go through with it. Word problem number 2. Mary has 50 cents in her pocket, but she only has quarters. How many quarters does she have? Interesting. This is different than some problems we've worked on before because they let us know she only has quarters. Let's think about that. How much is a quarter worth? If you said that you know a quarter is worth 25 cents, then you are getting this right. That is great that you are remembering how much a quarter is worth. But let's think now. Mary has 50 cents and only has quarters. What could this mean? So, we know that 50 cents equals 25 cents plus another 25 cents, meaning that Mary must have 2 quarters. Word problem number 3. Jaden has 6 dimes, 2 nickels, and 3 pennies. How much money does Jaden have? So let's set ourselves up for success with this problem. Let's think about what do we already know, what do we need to know, and what is this problem asking us to do? So if I look at this, I know how much a dime, a nickel, and penny is worth. I know a dime is worth 10 cents, a nickel is worth 5 cents, and a penny is worth 1 cent. I also know that this problem is asking me how much money does Jaden have altogether. So I'm going to need to do addition eventually. Let's think about setting this up in a way where we can really figure out how much each coin is worth and how much of that coin we have. So we know we have 6 dimes. We know a dime's worth 10 cents, which means we can add up 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 to get 60 cents. Next, let's do nickels. We know nickels are 5 cents a piece. So 5 cents plus 5 cents is going to be 10 cents. Pennies then, 3 pennies is 1 plus 1 plus 1, giving us 3 cents. That helps me to figure out we need to do 60 cents plus 10 cents plus 3 cents in order to get our grand total of Jaden's money, 73 cents. Let's try word problem 4. Kay has 2 nickels and Carlos has 5 pennies. Who has more money? Ooh, now I see this problem's asking us something different again. Now we need to figure out who has more money, Kay or Carlos. Let's think about this in a way that we understand it. What's worth more, a nickel or a penny? Correct, a nickel is worth more. A nickel is worth 5 cents and a penny is worth 1 cent, making a nickel worth more. Now let's think about how many pennies are in 1 nickel. There are 5 pennies in 1 nickel, as 1 penny is 1 cent and a nickel is 5 cents. Thinking about this way, 2 nickels would be 5 cents plus 5 cents, giving us 10 cents. After that, we can think about that 5 pennies is only 5 cents. Because of this, we know Kay has 10 cents and Carlos has 5 cents. Congratulations if you got this correct at home. That means you're following along and listening very well. We know 10 is more than 5, making Kay have more money. But now I want to give you guys a trick. Not a trick, but a little bit of a more tricky problem. If Kay had only 1 nickel instead of 2, do you think she would still have more money than Carlos? Pause your video and talk with your parent or sibling about that question. Word problem number 5. This is the last one we're going to do together before I send you guys off to do a few on your own. Danny has 75 cents, but he only has nickels. Ooh, interesting. How many nickels does Danny have? So thinking about what we know that can help us solve this problem, we know that a nickel is worth 5 cents. Nod your head up and down if you knew that. Great. Now we need to know how many nickels it would take for us to have 75 cents. Woof. I wonder how we can get there from 5 to 75. What do we already know about? Oh yes, we can count by 5s. I know all my Superstar 2nd graders definitely know how to count by 5s in Miss Abbott's class and Miss Ross's class. So let's look into this. Let's count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75. Huh. All right, well now let's think. How could counting by 5s help us to solve this problem? Think about your answer and share it with your parent or your sibling. For me, if you think that counting by 5s is kind of like counting by nickels, then you're able to see how many nickels we have to make 75 cents. So if you imagine that for all these numbers, I actually drew a nickel for each one, we would be able to count how many nickels I need to make 75 cents. So that's one way that counting by 5s could truly help us to solve this problem. What is another way I could solve this problem? Either comment to Ms. Abbott on Dojo or record yourself giving an explanation. Also feel free to comment on this YouTube page below. Thanks.